The first battle of your day begins before you leave the bed, before anyone speaks to you, before work begins, before life gives you a problem. The battle begins when your mind wakes up and asks one simple question: who will control this day? You or everything that demands your attention? Most people lose the morning within the first few minutes. Their eyes open, their hand reaches for the phone. They check messages. They open social media. They read the news. They look at what everyone else is doing. And before they have taken one conscious breath, the outside world has entered their mind. Someone's success makes them compare. Someone's message changes their mood. Someone's silence creates anxiety. A headline creates fear. A video steals 15 minutes, then 30. They have not even stood up, yet their attention already belongs to everyone except themselves. This is why many people feel tired before the day has truly begun. Their body may have rested, but their mind wakes up and immediately begins carrying noise. You cannot build a focused life if every morning begins with distraction. You cannot create peace if the first thing you do is invite the entire world into your thoughts. You cannot become disciplined if your first action is unconscious. The way you begin the morning teaches your mind who is in control. If the phone decides when you think, what you feel, and where your attention goes, then you have already surrendered authority. But this can change. Not through a complicated routine, not through an expensive system, not through waiting for motivation. It changes when you create one disciplined morning practice and repeat it until it becomes part of your character. Every morning, before you enter the world, return to yourself. Do not begin the day by consuming. Begin by becoming conscious. When your eyes open, remain still for a moment. Do not reach for anything. Notice your breath. Notice your body. Notice the first thoughts appearing in your mind. Some mornings, those thoughts will be calm. Other mornings, worry will be waiting. You will remember unfinished work, a difficult conversation, a financial problem, someone who disappointed you. Do not immediately follow these thoughts. Observe them. The first thought of the morning is not always the truth. It is often only the mind continuing yesterday's tension. You do not have to carry every thought into the new day. Breathe slowly. Let the morning begin without urgency. There is power in refusing to react before you are fully awake. Tell yourself, this day has begun, but it has not yet been decided. That sentence creates space. Yesterday may have been difficult. You may have failed. You may have reacted badly. You may have wasted time. But this morning is not yesterday. You are not required to repeat the same behavior simply because it is familiar. A new day is not a magical reset, but it is another opportunity to choose differently. Before touching the phone, sit up. Place your feet on the floor. Take a few slow breaths, not rushed breaths, not mechanical breaths. Breathe with awareness. Feel the air enter. Feel it leave. The purpose is not to escape your thoughts. The purpose is to remember that you are the observer of them. When you become aware of your breathing, you return to the present. The mind wants to jump into the future. What must be done? What might go wrong? Who will respond? Will today be successful? But the body is here. The breath is here. This moment is here. Begin here. A person who cannot return to the present will spend the entire day reacting to imagined problems. They will create stress from conversations that have not happened. They will feel defeated by tasks they have not begun. They will carry tomorrow while standing inside today. Your breath teaches you a different lesson. Only this moment can be acted upon. You do not need to solve the entire day from your bed. You need to take the first responsible step. After breathing, stand up without negotiating. This seems small, but many weak habits begin with negotiation. The alarm rings. You ask for 5 more minutes. 5 becomes 20. The mind begins offering comfort. Stay here. Begin later. You are tired. Today will not be productive anyway. When you obey this voice every morning, You teach yourself that your decisions have no authority. You said you would rise, then comfort changed your command. This is how self-trust is damaged. Not only through large failures, through small broken agreements. Stand when you said you would stand, not because waking early makes you superior, not because rest is unimportant, but because your word to yourself must begin gaining weight. Discipline begins with actions so ordinary that nobody applauds them. Getting out of bed, washing your face, drinking water, opening the curtains. These actions are not impressive, but they create order. And order changes the state of the mind. When your environment is chaotic, your attention is pulled in many directions. When you begin the morning by creating simple order, you send yourself a message. I do not wait for the day to organize me. I begin by organizing what I can. Make the bed. It is not only about the bed. It is the first completed task, the first promise kept, the first visible sign that the day has begun with intention. Then drink water. Your body has gone hours without it. Give your body what it needs before giving your mind what it wants. The mind wants stimulation. The body needs care. This is a principle you must remember throughout life. What you want immediately is not always what strengthens you. The phone gives stimulation. Water gives support. Scrolling gives escape. Movement gives energy. Comfort gives relief. Discipline gives self-respect. Each morning, you are choosing which part of yourself will lead. After this, remain away from the phone. The phone should not be the first voice in your life. Your mind needs a period of silence before it is filled with other people's words. Even 20 or 30 minutes can change the quality of your day. At first, this may feel uncomfortable. You may wonder whether someone contacted you. You may feel the urge to check. Your hand may reach automatically. Notice this. Do not judge yourself, but do not obey. Every urge you observe without following becomes weaker. Every urge you obey immediately becomes stronger. The phone is not evil, but unconscious use makes your attention available to anyone. Notifications do not ask whether you are ready. They do not care about your goals. They do not protect your peace. That responsibility belongs to you. During this quiet time, move your body. You do not need a perfect workout every morning. You need movement, session. Walk, perform a few simple exercises. Allow your blood to move. Allow your breathing to deepen. The body carries the mind. When the body remains heavy and inactive, the mind often follows. Movement changes more than energy. It teaches you to act before motivation appears. Some mornings you will feel ready. Other mornings you will feel stiff, tired, or unwilling. Do not demand intensity. Demand participation. 10 minutes of movement completed is stronger than an hour of exercise postponed. The purpose is not to prove something. The purpose is to wake up your physical presence, to remember that you are alive, to remind your nervous system that the day will not be spent only reacting to screens and thoughts. The body teaches discipline directly. You begin a movement, discomfort appears, the mind asks you to stop. You continue with awareness, not recklessly, not violently, but firmly. This practice becomes useful later. When work feels uncomfortable, you continue. When a difficult conversation becomes tense, you remain conscious. When loneliness appears, you do not immediately return to someone who disturbed your peace. When the urge to quit arrives, you recognize it as a feeling, not a command. The strength you practice in the morning does not remain in the morning. It follows you. After movement, sit quietly for a few minutes. This may be the most difficult part, not because silence is complicated, because most people are unfamiliar with it. The moment they become quiet, the mind produces noise. Thoughts appear. Memories appear. Regret appears. Plans appear. You may feel restless. You may believe you are doing it badly, but the goal is not to have no thoughts. The goal is to stop following every thought. Imagine you are sitting beside a road. Thoughts are vehicles passing. Some are loud, some are slow. some return again. You do not have to climb into each one. You can notice the thought and let it continue. I am worried about work. Notice it. I wonder whether they will message me. Notice it. I do not feel motivated. Notice it. My life should be further ahead. Notice it. The mind becomes dangerous when every thought is treated as truth. Silence gives you the ability to see thoughts before they become behavior. A thought says, check the phone. You observe it. A thought says, delay the work. You observe it. A thought says, you are not capable. You observe it. Then you choose. This is self-mastery, not controlling what appears. Controlling what receives your obedience. During this quiet time, ask yourself one question. What deserves my energy today? Not 10 questions, not a complete examination of your life. One question. What deserves your energy today? There may be many demands: work, family, health, money, moss, problems. But not everything deserves equal attention. Some things feel urgent because they are loud. Other things are important but quiet. Your future is often built by the quiet tasks you keep delaying. The workout, the hour of study, the application, the difficult conversation, the financial plan, the project that requires patience. Choose one meaningful action that must be completed today. Write it down. Not a long list created to make you feel busy. One priority. You may have other tasks, but identify the task that would make the day meaningful even if nothing else went perfectly. The mind becomes overwhelmed when everything appears equally important. Clarity reduces resistance. And when you know what matters, you waste less energy deciding. This is why morning planning is powerful. You make decisions before the day becomes noisy. And do not write a plan that belongs to an imaginary version of you. Be honest. If you have 3 hours, do not create 12 hours of work. If you are tired, do not plan as though you have unlimited energy. Discipline is not lying to yourself with impossible expectations. Discipline is creating a realistic commitment and keeping it. Choose your most important task. Choose when you will do it. Choose what distraction must be removed. Then begin as early as possible. Do the difficult thing before the mind has spent all its strength on small things. Many people use their best energy on meaningless tasks. They answer messages. They organize files. They watch advice. They think about working. They prepare to prepare. Then the important task reaches the end of the day. When focus is weak, they tell themselves they will begin tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes another day of preparation. Break this pattern. Every morning, complete one difficult action before you give yourself to entertainment. Your difficult action may be studying, writing, training, planning finances, applying for work, editing a video, learning a skill. It does not need to be finished completely, but it must be faced. Fear grows around what you repeatedly avoid. The task becomes larger in your imagination. You begin believing it is impossible, but once you begin, the mind becomes clearer. Action reduces the power of fear. You do not need confidence before starting. Starting produces evidence. Evidence produces confidence. Even 30 focused minutes can change your relationship with the task. Set a period. Resume the phone. Begin. When distraction appears, return. When boredom appears, return. When the mind says, this is not good enough, return. Your job is not to feel perfect. Your job is to remain present. The morning is also the right time to remember gratitude, not as a performance, not as a way to deny problems. Gratitude is not pretending everything is good. It is refusing to become blind to what is still valuable. You may be worried about money and still have health. You may be healing from disappointment and still have people who care. You may be uncertain about the future and still have the ability to learn. You may not have reached your goal, but you have another day to move toward it. The mind naturally notices what is missing. This can help you solve problems, but when it becomes your only way of seeing, life begins feeling empty, even when good things are present. Every morning, Name 3 things you are grateful for. Keep them simple. A body that can move, a place to sleep, a person who supports you, clean water, time, the ability to think, another opportunity. Do not search for impressive answers. Notice what you would miss if it disappeared. Gratitude changes how you carry difficulty. It reminds you that a hard season is not the whole of your life. But gratitude must not become passivity. You can appreciate what you have and still work for what must improve. Peace and ambition can exist together. You do not need to hate your present in order to build your future. In fact, self-hatred often weakens discipline. You insult yourself. You call yourself lazy. You compare yourself with people online. You create a morning filled with pressure. Then you seek distraction to escape the pressure you created. A stronger approach is honest but respectful. I have wasted time, but I can act now. I have been inconsistent, but I can keep one promise today. I am not where I want to be, but I am not helpless. Compassion without responsibility becomes an excuse. Responsibility without compassion becomes punishment. You need both. Treat yourself as someone whose future matters. That means speaking with patience and acting with discipline. Before entering the outside world, decide how you will carry yourself. The day may bring disrespect, delay, confusion, rejection, unexpected problems. You cannot control every event, but you can prepare your response. Tell yourself, today, I will pause before reacting. This single intention can protect your peace. Someone may say something careless. A message may disappoint you. A task may fail. The old habit will ask for immediate reaction. You will want to answer quickly. Complain, quit, check the emotional message. But remember the morning. Remember the breath, the create space. A person who pauses is harder to control. Provocation loses power when it cannot command your behavior. The pause does not make you passive. It allows you to choose the correct strength. Sometimes strength means speaking. Sometimes it means setting a boundary. Sometimes it means leaving. Sometimes it means refusing to waste your day on a small disturbance. Do not give one bad moment permission to become a bad day. A late start does not require a wasted day. One mistake does not require abandoning the routine. One emotional reaction does not erase your progress. Return. The morning practice is not about creating a perfect day. It is about creating a return point. When you become distracted, return to the priority. When you become emotional, return to the breath. When you become discouraged, return to the next action. When you make a mistake, return to responsibility. A disciplined person is not someone who never loses direction. It is someone who returns before being lost for too long. This is why your morning must remain simple. If the routine becomes too complicated, you will perform it for a few days and then abandon it. Do not build a routine for admiration. Build one you can repeat. Wake up. Do not touch the phone. Breathe. Drink water. Create order. Move your body. Sit in silence. Choose your priority. Begin the difficult task. Remember what is valuable. This is enough. You can adjust the time. You can change the details. But protect the principles. Awareness before reaction. Creation before consumption. Movement before laziness. Palitilitu before distraction. Gratitude before complaint. Discipline before comfort. Some mornings will not go according to plan. You may wake late. You may have responsibilities immediately. You may sleep badly. Do not use an imperfect morning as an excuse to do nothing. Shorten the practice. Take 3 breaths. Drink water. And move for 2 minutes. Write one priority. Begin. Consistency does not mean repeating the same length every day. It means preserving the habit even when conditions change. A small version keeps the identity alive. And you are still someone who returns to yourself before surrendering to the world. Do not measure the value of the routine only by how inspired you feel afterward. Some mornings you will feel clear. Other mornings you will still feel heavy. The routine is not failing because your emotions remain difficult. You are training something deeper than mood. You are training reliability. You are proving that your behavior does not need perfect emotion. This is one of the greatest forms of freedom. You can feel tired and still begin. You can feel anxious and still breathe. You can feel unmotivated and still complete the first task. You can feel uncertain and still move responsibly. The day no longer has to wait for your feelings to become convenient. Over time, these mornings begin changing you, not dramatically at first, quickly. You become less reactive. You reach for the phone less automatically. You complete more important work. You begin trusting your own promises. Your body feels more alive. Your thoughts become easier to observe. Your day becomes less controlled by other people's opinions. You stop needing motivation to begin. This is how identity changes. Not through one powerful speech, not through one perfect week, through repeated evidence. Every morning, you gather evidence that you can guide your attention, evidence that comfort is not your master, evidence that thoughts can be observed, evidence that you can build before consuming, evidence that your future receives part of your best energy. Do this long enough, and you will no longer have to convince yourself that you are disciplined. Your life will contain proof, but do not turn the routine into another reason to feel superior. Waking early does not make you better than others. Meditating does not make you wiser than everyone. Discipline without humility becomes ego. The purpose is not to compare routines. The purpose is to become more responsible for your own life. Some people work at night. Some care for children. Some face illness. Some have different responsibilities. The exact hour does not matter as much as the first conscious period after waking. Protect it. Use it to meet yourself before the world shapes you. Your morning is not only a beginning. It is training for every difficult moment that follows. When you resist the phone, you train restraint. When you move despite resistance, you train discipline. When you sit with thoughts, you train awareness. When you choose one priority, you train clarity. When you begin the difficult task, you train courage. When you practice gratitude, you train perspective. When you pause before reacting, you train emotional control. This is why a simple morning can change an entire life. Not because the morning contains magic, because it contains repetition. And repetition creates character. Tomorrow morning, your old habits will be waiting. The phone will be near you. Comfort will speak. Your mind will offer reasons to delay. Do not begin a long argument. Stand up, breathe. Move, begin. The first victory of the day does not need to be large. It only needs to prove that you are conscious. After this video ends, prepare tonight. Put the phone away from the bed. Put water where you can reach it. Write down tomorrow's most important task. Decide what time you will rise. Remove one obstacle. Do not rely on morning motivation. Make the correct action easier before the morning arrives. Then, when your eyes open, remember, the world can wait for a few moments. Memes can wait. News can wait. Other people's opinions can wait. Your mind needs you first. For more lessons about discipline, inner peace, focus, and self-mastery, subscribe to Inspire Daily Life and continue building yourself one conscious day at a time. But do not let another video become the first distraction of tomorrow. Let the screen remain dark. Let the room be quiet. Let your first actions belong to your future. Every morning, before the noise enters, take your attention back. Breathe before reacting. Move before delaying. Calculate before consuming. And do the difficult thing before comfort begins negotiating. Because the person you become is not decided by what you promise at night. It is decided by what you repeatedly do when the morning gives you another chance.